Okay, draw a line on a piece of paper. A line on a piece of paper. Did you guys find that stuff interesting? Okay, good. So what I wrote down here is that right now, at this time of the year, we have about 100 work days left. So write that down. 100 work days left so far this year. 100 work days. We started the year back in January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. We were looking at having somewhere between 220 and 250 work days. Now we're down to something just a hair under 100 work days. So I wrote down here right below that, to get what we've never had, you must do what you've never done. To get what you've never had, you must do what you've never done. So let's look back for you. One of the homework assignments I'm going to give you right now is to look back at what your goals were for the beginning of the year. How many contacts did you want to make? How many hours did you want to work? How many people did you want to talk to? Not necessarily the money goals or the transaction goals, but I'm talking about the activity goals. Okay? What did you want to do? What did you want to get done? So I wrote down here, success in our educational system today is tied to the ability to memorize and apply information. Think about those of you that have kids in school right now. Success in our educational system, the B's to the A's to the honor roll, is tied to the ability to memorize, get the information in, memorize it, and then apply that information for test purposes. Everybody with me? The better you are at memorization, the better you are at test taking, the better grade you generally get. Okay? Top grades go to the students with megabyte memories. Top agents go to the students, top grades go to the students with megabyte memories. Conventional wisdom says future success and classroom grades, think about this, we say this to our kids, the grades you get today are going to dictate where you're going to end up later in life. I'm paraphrasing. Conventional wisdom says future success and classroom grades go hand in hand. To students with the best grades are more likely to succeed. That's what my mom told me. That's what your mom probably told you. That's probably what you tell your kids. Okay? It's what we do, right? Did you know that over 50% of all the Fortune 500 company CEOs had C or C minus grades in college? Did you guys know that? Did you know that 65% of all the senators come from the bottom half of their class? All the senators, and you believe that? Meg says, and I know those guys. Did you know that 75% of all the presidents were in the lower half of their class? Interesting, huh? Did you know that 50% of millionaire entrepreneurs never finished college? We actually last week in Brea, we listened to a talk from Bill Gates, who was being given an honor of graduating, an honorary graduate degree from Harvard University. Harvard University. It was Harvard University. And he had never graduated. He had actually gone to a semester or two and then went off and did his thing, and is arguably one of the 2 or 3 richest men in the world. He's probably given away more money than most people will ever earn. Amazing. Amazing. So athletic performance, like academic ability, is also assumed to be this way too. Those with natural ability to run faster and throw further. So therefore, the idea is if they can do that, then therefore they should be the winner, right? Yet some of us remember in 1980 Olympics where the Russians, who were vastly more talented, had more experience, more skill, were stronger and faster skaters than the U.S. players, lost to the United States. How's that happen? Russia was stronger, better, more well-equipped, better trained. They lost. The most common elements in most great people we know in all walks of life is their passion. It's their drive. It's their enthusiasm. It's their desire. These qualities are going to lift you to your next level. It becomes our job to help you identify it and to bring it out and to keep fanning those flames. Keep reminding you on a daily, weekly basis. Write this down. The odds are your next few deals are going to come from one of two places. Odds are. 40 years experience are telling you right now, odds are as we finish up August and we move into lining up September and we get ready to run through the finish line through October, November, and December. They're going to come from two places, your business right now, if you focus on it hard enough. And that's going to be going to see old expireds at the door, underline it, circle it, put stars by it, and new expireds that you're working now. The second area is going to be past client and sphere of influence. Past client and sphere of influence. Those two areas worked on and off, on and off, on and off. Every day, every week, every month, every day, every week, every month, as we run through the finish line, is where your business is going to come from. I wrote down here, average agents are going to call the expireds. Superstar agents are going to go knock on the door. Average, superstar. Average agent is going to pick up the phone and make the calls. And they'll make a lot of them. And they won't talk to anyone. But they're making the calls. Superstar agents are going to go knock on the door. And they're going to knock on the door, and they're going to knock on the door, and they're going to knock on the door until that person comes to the door. Morning, day, and night. Morning, day, and night. Morning, noon, and night. Morning, noon, and night. Well, what a waste of time, Neil. Well, it's not a waste of time if you go do two things while you're there. And what are they? Knock 10 doors around this way. Then the next time you go, knock 10 doors around this way. Then when you're done with that, go a block over, knock 10 more over there. Go 10 more over here. And then while you're there, why don't you preview some property? You know, what the heck? And then when you're previewing property, why don't you door knock around some of those and door knock around some of those? Because that's where the business is coming from. Some of it is coming from the past client and sphere, but some of it is coming from around the past client and sphere. Some of it is coming from the expireds, the old and new, and some of it is coming from the doors around it. And when you do one without the other, you're sabotaging yourself. So I wrote down here, today matters. In the next 100 days, you can set yourself apart. In the next 100 work days, you could set yourself apart. Write this down. Every work day, work a great 8. Don't show up for 8. Work a great 8. Which means that you might have to not go to lunch today. Or if you go to lunch, bring something with you. Okay? That's perfectly fine. Or instead of 3 or 4 of you going to lunch, give one person the money, let them go to lunch and bring it to you today, and tomorrow you can do the same for them. It doesn't take 4 of you to go to lunch, wait in line, get served, then figure out how to divide up the check. Okay, let's see, it was $8.32. And we're going to put a 16% tip on it. They were really good today. But I had the iced tea. Did you have an iced tea? You guys are laughing. You know exactly what's going on. I wrote down here, work a great 8 every day. I wrote down number 2, go see every expired in the market that you work. Whatever market you work, wherever you are, go see physically every single expired in that marketplace. I wrote down here, door knock 10 doors around every expire you go see. That's only for the next 100 days if you want to have an amazing fourth quarter of the year. And remember, if you have a great fourth quarter, what comes after a great fourth quarter? A phenomenal first quarter. Right? A phenomenal first quarter. And all the effort and all the things that you do. I wrote down here, make sure your past client and sphere of influence system is up and it's working. Here's my challenge to you. And I'm doing this with all the agents I'm coaching. I'm asking my coaches to do the same thing with you. Whatever you have in your database, past client and sphere, you must be doing 10% of that number in business over the next 12 months. It's there. I've seen it. I prove it all the time. So whatever that number is, and if that number is 800, maybe the number is wrong. Maybe that really isn't a true number. Then go in and clean that number up. Get rid of the people. Because if I just had this conversation this morning. One of our agents, great agent, does probably about 80 transactions we'll do this year. About 50 of them will come from past client and sphere. But she has 900 people in her database. Okay? So either she's failing on the 300 or 400 that she should have better. She should have 40 more deals. Or there's 400 people in there that really shouldn't be there. You get it? And what's happening at 400 is a big number. How do you get through those 400 and wade through and get rid of so you get focused on the good 500? Do you get what I'm saying? And that 500, what we've proved with certain agents that are what I call legend agents, people that have been around for a while, really have done their job, their number isn't 10%. Their number is closer to 15. It's a big amount laying on the floor here in this particular case. 5% is another 25 transactions, in my opinion, that she's not getting because she has this layer of 400 hiding the good stuff. You get it? That's what's happening. And the good news is she's doing this business. The bad news is she has all of this she could be doing for similar kind of work. Because does it take time, effort, and energy to wade through the 400 that are no good? Hello?
Yes.
Absolutely. Wouldn't it be more fun to just wade through the good 500 rather than the extra bad 400? You guys with me on this? Yeah. Take the time now, in the next week or 2 or 3, and get through this. And I don't care if you have 900 or 90, wherever you are, get to the bottom and then start to work from there. You guys with me on this one? Yeah. I wrote down here, learn how to handle the objection you most had to hear coming up while you're having over the last year or so. Learn how to handle that, finally. If it's commission cutting, then learn it 6 ways. If it's, I have a friend in the business, then learn it 6 different ways. If it's, I want to think about it, then learn how to handle that objection 6 different ways. Write it down, internalize it, practice it, learn it until you know it so well. That's what you need to be working on between now and the end of the year. I wrote down here, extraordinary people are ordinary people with that little extra added onto the front of it. You have an opportunity right now. Your competitors in August just came off of vacation. Okay? There's a few people less in here. Where are they? They're on vacation. The last month of the year, kids are on vacation. Last day of school. Then they have the school. Then they have to go to Staples and you have to buy everything. You know, it's a lot of work. You know, and then you get into the argument. You have a cart. It was my ritual every year. We would have, I have 3 kids. And we would go to, it was in Staples. It was Office Outlet for us because that was close. And we would get this cart, a big cart. And we'd fill this stupid thing with stuff for 3 kids. I'm telling you, they don't have all this in Bangladesh. Okay? This is nuts. And you got to do it every year. What happened to that stuff? What happened? Where is it? We have an opportunity right now. Nobody's as focused. No one's as committed. No one's running through the finish line like you are. From the leaders, from you, from the systems, everything's there. It's right there. Take advantage of it. Move to your next level. Polish things up. Make it look a little bit nicer. Do a few more contacts. Do a little bit more work on your listing presentation. Do a little bit more work on your scripts and dialogues. Show up to this environment a little more often. And then by the end of the year, you'll have done a few more transactions, so your families will have a little nicer holiday. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great to have 2 or 3 extra closings or 2 or 3 extra pendings that are getting ready to close so that you can have the money to pay off that money you put on the credit card, or so you can have a few extra dollars in January? See, because remember, Christmas is coming, but what comes right after Christmas? April 15th. April 15th, it's horrible. They set this up this way. You know, you're pedaling as fast as you can to take care of Christmas and make the money and have the extra deal and get the bicycle and the Nintendo and all the stuff that you got to get that you can't live without. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's January and you're kind of clearing the fog away and you're kind of setting your goals and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, boom, April 15th is right in front of you. And we've got all these tax bills to take care of. Work on it now. Focus on it now. And let's go out and make this the best week we've ever had. Thank you. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We have